Saudi Arabia's M3 money supply growth slows to an 11-year low of 2.3%, despite positive comments from the IMF. Joining us now on the phone is Nour Eldeen Al-Hammoury, Chief Market Strategist for GFC Markets. Thank you very much for joining us. So how should investors interpret these mixed signals with the IMF comments on the one hand and, of course, the other developments on the other?
Oh, good morning and thank you for having me. Well, right now I'm looking at the Middle East markets in general. That is, we are in a stabilizing mode. But what I'm looking at right now is, I'm looking at the Egyptian and the UAE markets, as especially in Egypt we have some speculation that the central bank might intervene very soon, as the Egyptian pound dropped to the lowest level since 2007. And we're expected to intervene in order to maintain a potential inflation risks from the imports. So this is what we're looking at right now, and the market could take this step from the Egyptian central bank as a negative, which likely to lead for a lower stocks again later this quarter. And but as of for the UAE. I'm still tracking the Dubai World company situation, and so no, there's no, as you know, there's no specific agreement with creditors and Dubai World company, and even with that, Dubai World is expecting an agreement with the creditors during September or at the end of October. But such a delays in decision making will be harmful a little bit for the stocks market, and especially also for the Dubai World as real estate.
That's a good point to pick up on, and that is, of course, the volumes we've seen in the Middle East region, which are low, and some of them have reached 2010 lows, some of them even year or two lows. Are we going to see those volumes come back up again after the summer lull and after the Ramadan season is over?
Yeah, I mean, even if it's a higher volume after Ramadan, I think that it's going to be like a short-lived period. Like, you know, some upside could happen because of after the end of the Q3, but I think that it's going to be just a short-lived, because most of especially let's say in the UAE, everyone is still expecting more problem, especially for the Dubai World, because as I was saying again, that real estate and construction sector remain weak, and we have to say here that the real estate and construction sector in UAE represent around 13% of GDP in Dubai World assets, and Dubai World assets is still losing value day after day. So what I want to say is,
yeah, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Hello? Yeah. Finally about Dubai. If Dubai will reach an agreement with a creditor on restructuring the debt, which will be for probably 8 years, okay, we should not forget that Dubai World still has more debt that should be paid in 2012 and 2013. So the question remains now, and everyone is looking for that for an answer for this question, that will Dubai will be able to pay these debts after restructuring the debt? This is what I'm watching now on the long term, but on the short term, we're looking for the earning calendar and announcement, and also the Q2 and Q3 GDP numbers.
Right, and Nour was just telling us, addressing some of the concerns that investors have about the Middle East, especially given what we've seen out of Dubai. Now, Jim, one could play the commodities markets without having to work their capital in the Middle Eastern markets. Do you have an opinion about that?
Well, yes, with the Middle East, as long as the price of oil stays high, and I expect it to stay high and probably go much higher. Oh, who knows how high, but the surprise is going to be how high it stays, and then how high it goes ultimately. Ultimately, it'll go 150, 200, 250 again, ultimately, over the next decade or so, because we do have declining reserves. That's the real key to the Middle East. But I don't pay too much attention to the Middle East, because most of those markets are blocked. I mean, they don't allow foreigners to, you know, enter those markets in an easy way. So, for my purposes,
if they unblock that access, will you get it?
If they unblocked it, oh my goodness, there could be some astonishing.
Which ones?
Well, it depends on who unblocks. You know, if they unblocked Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia is making some changes, Kuwait's making some changes. No, this could be very exciting things going on in the Middle East. But so far, the markets are blocked to most foreigners.
Good point there.